Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are going to talk about race and racism and Black Lives Matter. I know I owe you guys a sort of personal life update, but that will come in a different video in the next video. I wanted to make this video today to publicly voice my support for the Black Lives Matter movement. I have got some notes and stuff, so if you see me looking this way, I just want to make sure that I'm saying everything that I want to say in this video. But yeah, so I wanted to publicly voice my support for the Black Lives Matter movement, to say that I am not okay with black people being killed by the police, by civilians, by structural racism in all forms, and I wanted to point you guys in the direction of some resources and ways you can help. And I know that's been going on a lot on social media, so I'm sure you're already informed in lots of those ways. I should have made a video like this a long time ago, and for that I'm really sorry. The murder of George Floyd is yet another instance, terrifying, horrifying instance of disproportionate police brutality against black people. So I have some facts. So in the US, the police homicide rate towards black people is 6.6 compared to white people's 2.5. And out of the 1,099 people killed by police in 2019, 24% were black, even though they only make up 13% of the population. So those are some facts, because I don't want to hear anyone try and argue with me that this is even an issue. 99% of police officers who kill are not charged or prosecuted. Breonna Taylor, whose killers have still not been charged. George Floyd's have, due to the tireless campaigning of the black community and protests. Although whether justice will actually be served remains to be seen. But Breonna Taylor, whose killers have still not been charged, was shot 8 times in her home. The police did not announce that they were going to come into the home on suspected charges which she was innocent of in the early hours of the morning. And it isn't just the police. Ahmaud Arbery was murdered for simply going on a jog by civilians. Granted, one of them was an ex-police officer. And in the UK, racism is just as prevalent. This is not just a US problem. Sarah Reid, a woman suffering from mental health problems, died in suspicious circumstances in police custody in 2016 after suffering a horrific beating at the hands of a policeman in 2012. In 2015, a man named Sheku Bayo died according to the autopsy from asphyxia, likely from being forcibly restrained, much like George Floyd. Black people make up 13% of London's population, but in 2018 to 19 they were involved in 39% of the incidents where the Met used force. In 2017, the Lammy Review showed that while black people comprise 3% of the overall population in England and Wales, they currently make up 12% of its prison population. And the case of Belly Majinga also comes to mind, who was spat at while she worked in London Victoria Station by someone who knew or thought they had coronavirus, and she later died of the disease. So anti-blackness is a global problem because it is a legacy of colonialism, it is a legacy of the transatlantic slave trade, and that also deeply implicates us here in the UK. You know, we have to think too of the structural racism, which means that black, Asian and minority ethnic people are dying in much higher proportions from COVID-19. We also have to think here in the UK that BAME people are also more likely to die in a disaster like Grenfell, for example, which is still nowhere near being resolved in terms of finding alternative housing. And this is about, like I said, this is about life and death, but it's also about microaggressions. It's also about lack of opportunity for black people in workspaces, in education. You know, this goes all the way up and down in the systems. So I want to be a better ally, and I know that I've not been good enough, and I know that sometimes I've been part of the problem, and I really want to apologise to my black followers for that, and for failing you. And I have a duty to acknowledge my privilege as well. I'm privileged because I can go for a run without worrying for my life. I'm privileged because I know the police will not use excessive force against me if I have to call them for help, or even if I commit a crime of some kind. I'm also privileged to have received the education that I have, which has enabled me to read a lot about race, and also through funds as well. I'm privileged that my whiteness enables me to get more brand deals, to charge a higher wage for my influencer work, and probably enables me to attain more followers as well. I'm privileged that I can choose whether to enter discussions about race rather than having to live it every day. Structural racism benefits me, even if I am anti-racist, and I want to help dismantle those systems. To me and to my white followers, we must be more active at combating systemic racism in our lives. I encourage you guys to donate where you can, and you can donate by simply watching this video, because the AdSense from this video will go towards some of the UK-based organisations that I've linked down below. We need to write letters to politicians and within workspaces, keep on educating ourselves, commit to having difficult conversations in real life. I'm a big believer in that one, because I think that is one of the most important things, is exposing people who would never go looking for any of this information, and talking to them. I do worry that we all kind of talk into an echo chamber online of people that are like-minded to us, so having those conversations in real life is really, really important. Also, using your vote is really important. When I go to vote, I'm always looking at who black people are voting for, who other minorities are voting for, why they're voting for them, and I let that inform my decision. In the UK, that means basically not voting for Conservatives for a myriad of reasons, but you only need to look at some of the disgustingly racist things Boris Johnson has said in the past to know that that is not a good idea. So I'm going to come up with kind of daily, weekly, monthly goals, so that I can keep donating, keep writing letters, keep doing those things. I know that I need to do it more with brands, with work. That's something that I definitely haven't done enough of, so I'm going to do more of that, so that this can really be a lifelong habit. So that is something I'm going to put together. I don't know whether I will share it eventually, I might not share it. Yes, please believe that if I'm not being really loud online at the moment, I am doing what I can offline. And I know, but I do know I need to use my voice, I need to speak about these things as well. So basically, originally in this video, I was going to list some books by black authors that have helped me learn about racism and systemic racism over the last few years. And also, I'm kind of trying to do two things in that. I also just want to celebrate black voices. Many of my favourite authors are black authors, so I wanted to share that originally to help you guys, if you haven't got a diverse reading list right now, to change that. And I actually filmed that entire video. It was going to be like an hour and a half long. And also, as a side note, I do just want to say that I know black writing is not a monolith, that these writers all come from completely different places, they're writing about completely different things, their writing styles are completely different. Some of my favourite speculative fiction authors are black writers, i.e. N.K. Jemisin, Octavia Butler, Samuel Delaney. So it is tricky to group those authors without sort of contributing to the idea that they're minority authors, or they're somehow groupable compared to white authors, and I do want to just acknowledge that. Anyway, filmed that whole video, and then I thought that mine is just absolutely not the voice you should be listening to right now. So my main goal in this video is to point you guys in the direction of black bookstagrammers, black booktubers, and I urge you to follow them, watch their videos, consume their content, like their Instagram posts, engage with their Instagram posts, but not only that, but to actually genuinely read what they recommend. It's very easy to write these lists and recommend things, or read the articles that are recommending things and then not do the reading. I already read black authors, but I want to come up with a sort of like some goals, I guess, so that I am continuing always to educate myself. But yeah, we must actually do the work, we must actually do the reading. That's really important. But having said that, it is not the job of those black booktubers, those black bookstagrammers, to write anti-racist reading lists for you if you are a white person looking to get educated. Please, 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 please do not go and message them asking for them to do that if they haven't already. If they want to do that, they will. Some of them have, some of them haven't. Like I said about the books, I want to simultaneously provide that information for you guys, that education for you guys, but also just celebrate black content creators, because I don't lift them up enough. I need to do that more. I want to do that in this video. So some of those content creators will address race more openly, more obviously. Some of them won't, and it is really not their job to teach you. I just want to diversify the people that you're watching, the people you have on your timeline. Some of them will provide reading that relates to race specifically, some of them won't. Some of them are focused on reading books by people of colour, some of them aren't. But yes, please don't go and ask them to write lists for you if they haven't already. Or don't ask them to do anything. Just listen, engage, learn. Engage in ways that they can support themselves through their affiliate links, through liking their posts and all of that kind of stuff. That's really important. But yes, please don't message them asking them to help you with things. So I will link a few reading and resource lists down below, but I kind of want to point you guys in the direction of mostly the Black content creators, but also a blog post I've written which has got more links on it basically, and is probably a little bit more readable than a YouTube description box. And that's got links to lists, so it's kind of a list of lists of some fantastic resources that I've come across online. It's not exhaustive by any means, and I'm not an expert by any means. Also in that blog post I have put the reading list I was originally going to speak about on here, there, down at the bottom, because like I said, Black content creators are not obliged to make us white people anti-racist reading lists or favourite Black writer reading lists or any of that. So I wanted to do it in some capacity, with trying not to censor myself and my opinions and stuff. So that is on there if you do want to see my favourite books by Black authors, because I have an obligation also to help educate any white followers that I have that would like to learn more. I know lots of you guys will be educated on racial issues and don't need my help anyway. So ultimately this video is a lot shorter than I originally intended it. But yes, like I said at the beginning, I wanted to voice my support. I wanted this to be a standalone video in order to show respect to the movement. I didn't want to just shove it on the front of a vlog or something. Like, this is so important. But you best believe I will be including information in my normal videos and in my book videos. And my thoughts are with those of you who are protesting at the moment. It's not safe. Being Black is not a safe thing. But I hope against all hope that you are staying safe and that you are well. I know that that is almost impossible. And I hope that to my Black followers, I know you don't need me to tell you, but I hope that you are looking after yourselves. I hope that you're resting. I hope that you're taking some time offline to allow yourself to rest, basically. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Bye.